Welcome to Fire Walk with Us. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And Justin.
This week we're talking about the episode Wounds and Scars. In this episode, Truman is suffering from grief in the wake of Josie's unexplained death and confines himself to the bookhouse, drinking heavily. Cooper is forced to take over as temporary sheriff of Twin Peaks and has Deputy Hawk help him follow more clues to Wyndham Earle's whereabouts. Meanwhile, Ben Horn plans to put on a charity event fashion show at the Great Northern in support of the endangered pine weasel, with financing from Wheeler and Dick Tremaine as the MC, who disdains help from Tim Pinkle.
Great name.
It is. That is an amazing name. Audrey continues flirting with Wheeler while Andy tries to get back together with Lucy. Major Briggs and Margaret the log leader discover that they have the same mysterious markings on their bodies. Norma's younger sister, Annie Blackburn, arrives in town and reveals that she's left the Covenant where she was living for the past 5 years since age 17, and claims that she's ready to face the world. Wyndham Earle reads the newspaper of Cooper's latest chess moves and becomes angry after immediately figuring out that Cooper's getting help. In the wake of Thomas Eckhart's murder, his sinister and energetic assistant, let's say, Miss Jones puts his final plan of revenge into motion, first delivering a mysterious box to Catherine and later targeting Truman. In disguise, Wyndham Earle individually contacts Donna, Shelley, and Audrey to chat with them about the mysterious poem that he has sent them. Also, Mike Nelson and Nadine finally decide to consummate their growing romance by checking into the Great Northern Hotel as a married couple.
Things kind of went fast for them.
Yes.
Well, it's been a thing
Kind of
for...
been more or less behind the scenes for an episode.
They've been building it for a good chunk of the season.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when Nadine started on the wrestling team.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's...
And it's nice. They took a little bit of time to speak with Ed about it. Speak with Ed and Dr. Jacoby, make sure that things were all okay, and she finds it a little ridiculous that Ed's kind of holding on so much, but she's with another guy, and Ed loves the other girl there, so she's happy with it.
I just love how they go to the hotel to check in as Mr. and Mrs. Hinkman. They're just
All
so...
in disguise and whatnot.
I know, I love Mike in this, like, ill-fitting, like, I don't even know what to call his suit, but it is not good.
Yeah, no.
It is not a good look. Anyway, starting off at the beginning of the episode, we get a montage of Josie moments cut together with shots of a glass of Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
I guess to show, I guess Harry Truman is kind of grieving.
Yes, he's
just
hiding out in the bookhouse, drinking heavily.
And not
Yeah.
eating.
And not eating.
Yeah.
Annie arrives at the Double R Diner.
Yes.
The log lady looks at the mark on Major Briggs' neck.
Yes.
They find out that Josie's body only weighed 65 pounds, and they haven't been able to determine a cause of death yet. Wyndham figures out Cooper is getting help to force a stalemate.
And
And
it
he
was
is.
pretty
Just
much...
from one move.
It was instantaneous. Like, the instant he read it, placed the piece there, that guy's cheating. He's having somebody help him. And oh man, was he pissed.
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense, because they've played, like, over 1,000 games against each other. Because they played a game every day for 3 years.
And what, Cooper hasn't learned a single thing?
Yeah, but, like, if you play somebody that often, you would see patterns develop.
I guess so. Makes sense.
It's also kind of the thing that, sure, Wyndham is doing it this way, but he should probably know with Cooper, if serious stuff's on the line, Cooper's gonna do anything to make sure stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah, but, like if you're playing chess, you usually have, like, a set pattern you follow.
Like,
I always...
openings.
I have a few, but primarily I get the knights out quick.
In
Anyway.
my case, I trick them in with speed, and after that I catch on their mistakes.
Fortified defenses.
Yep. Knights and bishops play the primary defensive role. Anyway, this isn't a chess podcast.
Yeah, no.
Wyndham attacks Leo with his flute before he starts playing it. There's just something funny about that. We're just like,
Well, it is the bamboo one. It's
oh no,
very well.
it would hurt like a son of a bitch.
Yes.
We get a close up on Wyndham's ring.
Yes.
Something you might want to keep in the back of your mind.
Like the 16 other particular things with this.
Yep. We get to see some preparations for the fashion show that Ben is putting together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out that Dick is going to be emceeing.
And Dick's being more of a dick than he usually is.
I got the perfect person for this role.
Cooper goes to visit Truman at the bookhouse, which doesn't go terribly well.
Yeah, he's not too keen on meeting with peoples at the moment.
No. Catherine is reviewing plans when Miss Jones walks in, who was Eckhart's assistant. And they have a little bit of a chat.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Dr. Gerald Gregg visits Donna and leaves a gift for the doctor.
Supposedly, even though supposedly you find out later that he's actually dead. Or something.
Yes. Gerald Gregg is dead. He died in a drowning. He drowned on a rafting trip. When I think it's implied that it's when Doc Hayward was in like med school.
Yes.
So it's got to be at least like 40 years ago.
Yes.
And contained in the package is a chess
Knight.
piece.
It's a knight.
A knight.
Yes. So Pete is at the sheriff's station playing like 20 games of chess, and it's amazing. And Andy and Lucy are bickering while playing chess because Andy doesn't understand how knights work. And it's fantastic.
It is fairly amazing, but you usually kind of learn the rules pretty quick that the knight moves interesting, but it's not optional. You have to move that way with knights.
Not in Andy's world. That's optional. Major Briggs and the log lady arrive at the station, both bearing the same markings on their body.
How are those markings the same?
They don't look terribly the same. One looks like 3 triangles. The other one looks like Twin Peaks.
No, they both have the same marking. They both have the 3 triangles.
Oh, but in different sorts of positions.
Yes, it's different places on their body, but they have the same marking.
Yes, because with the major on the neck,
It's on the neck.
and with the log lady
It's
on
on her leg. Yeah.
Okay.
On the log lady, I will grant you, the 3rd triangle is hard to see.
Because
not
it's
done
kind of
terribly
hidden
well.
with the thing that is there.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't pop as well as it should,
Okay.
Yeah.
but it is there.
Fair enough.
Yes. We find out that Gerald Gregg, it was Wyndham Earl. Did anybody not see that coming?
Yeah.
Okay. Wyndham is at the Double R Diner at the same time as Cooper. And Cooper sees him but doesn't recognize him.
I think for a mild instant.
But he didn't eat his burger.
No, he didn't, and that...
Yeah, he had to ditch. He couldn't stand being around Cooper long enough without getting up and being like, Cooper!
Yes, and we find out that the town is going to be holding a beauty pageant.
Supposed, yeah.
And Norma's trying to convince Shelley that she should sign up because there's a cash prize and a scholarship or something.
Yeah. Oh, I think one other thing that with the chessboards and whatnot, it's possible but incredibly difficult to have that much of a stalemate within the game. So at the very least, there's still the possibility of 6 people at risk of dying.
Yes.
6 or 4.
Pete says the least he can do it in is 6.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you could get a stalemate losing less pieces, but...
Yeah. So you'd be left with 10 pieces.
Cooper and Annie meet, and it's pretty great.
That's alright. They seem nice. He introduces himself. There was that mild twinge of, Cooper, do you like Anne? What are you doing?
I think it's pretty clear. I love how she's like, sorry, I made the coffee a little strong, and he's like, no, perfect. Because it's a very Cooper thing, because he's...
No, very true. He loves his coffee.
Doesn't taste like fish.
There is...
There was a fish in the percolator.
There was one thing. As per the episode's title, there was a scar on Anne's
Yeah, there
right
was.
arm
It's on her wrist.
on her wrist.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
So, because of the title of this episode, and he's gonna be a bit important.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit.
I kind of questioned just from the start the creation of that sort of scar, the possibility of the coven that she was in, possibly punishment marks, and aside from that, something else that happened before she went to the Covenant, and
Guess we'll have to find out.
It's either that or going to the worst case scenario of horrible things she did when she was younger.
Guess we'll have to find out.
Yeah.
Where's Annie?
Okay.
Truman has gone a little crazy, and he eventually passes out in the bookhouse.
Well, after, they kind of hugged and settled things a little bit.
Yeah.
Somebody push the hug button.
Mr. and Mrs. Hinkman check into the Great Northern
Yes.
in the honeymoon
Hinkman.
suite.
Yes.
I love Nadine's reaction. Our room, please, and just smashes the bell.
They're gonna need a new bell.
Ben makes a speech about the endangered pine weasel.
Oh man, they're weasel.
And then the greatest thing to happen in this episode starts, the fashion show. Hosted by Dick Tremaine.
Hooray.
And they get Nadine to walk out.
First we get treated to what Lucy's wearing.
Yes.
Lucy.
It was alright.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was okay for colder kind of times in Twin Peaks.
Maybe in the Arctic.
Nah.
And then Andy.
Okay, so Lucy's outfit isn't great, but fine. And then Andy walks out.
Yes.
Describe what Andy's wearing, David. Do you remember?
Whole bunch of plaid.
He's wearing these, fleece red plaid pants,
Yes.
which are an absolute nightmare.
They're not the worst thing ever. Dude, have you lived through the 80s?
No, neither did you.
Yeah, true, but we did see
Neither
it.
did I.
And then he's got this horrible, checkered plaid shirt on,
Yes.
and this stupid, hunting cap.
Yes.
It is a disaster.
It's not the worst
Where's
disaster.
the rabbit?
Thank you, Andy. That'll be all.
I love how Andy just stands there looking dumb at the audience, huh?
What am I
What?
supposed
Good,
to
Andy.
do?
You can go now.
Yeah. So then we get the question, has Ben changed, or is this all an act?
Yes.
What do you think?
I want to say it's an act.
Possibly a change, but how he's been acting, it's not too surprising that people are thinking it's an act as per usual with him.
Well, he did go insane and think he was a Civil War general. Which is my favorite version of Ben Horn, if you couldn't tell.
Yes.
And as that is, that's kind of 6 levels above his typical crazy.
Then we get to hear about the endangered pine weasel from a Mr. Tim Pinkle.
Yeah! Live Pine Weasel demonstration!
I already knew disaster was going to strike at this moment.
It was so cute, though!
He pulls out the little pine weasel and he's like, oh, it's got this nice fur and it never attacks humans. And then he goes, Dick, give it a kiss!
Oh no, it was the case that it's attracted to shiny things, like the little buttons on
And
your
cheap
shirt.
cologne.
And cheap cologne.
How they know a specific animal is attracted to specifically cheap cologne, I don't know, but...
Nah.
And then it attacks Dick by biting
Weasel
him
attack on the nose.
It bites him on the nose.
And then it goes.
And then all hell
into
just breaks
the,
loose.
Oh, loose. It was amazing.
And there are people screaming and it's...
And pushing people over.
Oh!
That's great.
It's absolutely fantastic.
But of course, we gotta have that wonderful scene with Audrey falling off stage, falling into
John Justice Wheeler.
Wheeler's arms. And I'm just like, aw, it's so cute. Go on a date already.
I'm not a fan of John Justice Wheeler,
He seems
other
like
than
a
his
decent
name,
enough guy.
but they do have really good chemistry on screen.
Yes.
Yeah. So at the very end of the episode, we see Miss Jones getting into bed next to Truman.
I was kind of
odd.
I was kind of wondering what the case was. My first thought was, oh my gosh, is she sleeping with Catherine's husband? Wait, that would not relate to that.
So, what do you think her plan is? No idea.
Close to Harry?
I
Laying to the police? Giving away the supposed secrets to Catherine?
Guess we'll,
seducing him.
guess we'll have to find out.
Nah.
So, what did you all learn about Twin Peaks in this episode?
The Pine Weasel is so cute.
I think that's what you said for last week, but okay.
Well, the Pine Weasel was just kind of either a picture or a little...
In this one, we get the picture over the stage, and it's just like a close-up face shot of the Pine Weasel.
It was so cute!
Such endangered species.
Don't
kill it.
Oh, it's fantastic. Justin, what did you learn? That Andy needs somebody who can dress him better? Yes, you're right.
Well, I'm not gonna blame the costume designers. Obviously, they had to wear something terrible.
Well, no. They did their job exceptionally well.
Yes, exactly.
In the universe of Twin Peaks, Andy needs a little help.
Nah.
Not at all.
Just a little.
He needs a bit of direction here.
He
there.
looks like he wants to be like a lumberjack, but he's been hit on the head about 20 times and has a couple of concussions, and he just doesn't quite get how that's supposed. Anyway,
And he doesn't know how he got on the stage in the first place, probably.
he doesn't. He's like, the fuck did I end up here? Okay.
I think aside from that, if they don't bother using that one scream from the girl that pushed Audrey off the stage, I will be very surprised.
She does
that
have a great
actress
scream.
did a very good job.
She does have a great scream.
I like how long she just stood there just screaming her head off.
It's like,
I was watching that instead of, the chemistry of Audrey and Wheeler.
John Justice Wheeler. Tell me that Tell me that you would not watch a show with the main character who was like a truck driving vigilante and his name was John Justice Wheeler. It's too perfect. How did that never happen?
I don't know. I think the question is now, why doesn't it happen now?
You could name it Wheels of Justice. Oh my god, I've just stumbled upon brilliance.
Oh dear, I think we got Paul's new pitch.
My God.
You cannot top a name like Wheels of Justice. Anyway.
Funny.
I
That's
think
about it.
another particular point is with the Major and the Log Lady.
Yes.
The only one thing they supposedly remember before they got their marks about...
Flush of white light and an owl.
Yes.
Yep.
It's another
Yeah.
important things for stuff.
Yes. Have you noticed that there have been a few like carved owls and stuff in the last couple episodes?
Yes.
I don't notice the owls.
You must notice all the owls. It'll
They're-
be our newest drinking game. Watching through all of season 2, fucking all the owls.
You'll have
You
to give me
will
a
be
shot
dead
for every
after 2
owl I
episodes.
miss.
Nah, I wouldn't be too surprised.
Okay, so do either of you have any questions for me?
So, has Harry got over his drinking problem?
I think Harry's gonna be dealing with a brand new problem as it is.
Harry is going to have some issues in the next couple episodes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think my question is, with Donna receiving a knight, what is Audrey and Sally going to be getting?
Shelley.
Shelley, that was it.
Well, we also don't know who the knight is meant to represent.
Just the fact that she's labeled as a pawn piece, or is she that specific one, or she's one of the specific targets?
Could be. Could be that Wyndham did that just to show that he could get to anyone.
Then how would it supposedly relate to Cooper? How would he find out?
Well, no, so, like, Wyndham would give that piece to Donna, because then Cooper would know that Wyndham can get to anyone in the town. Nobody is safe.
I think he pretty much assumed that already.
Yeah, but this makes it quite clear that he can get at anybody he wants to. So, I think it's definitely message to Cooper.
Wyndham works in mysterious ways.
He definitely does. Alright, so after this episode, who's your favorite character and why?
The Weasel.
Definitely the Weasel.
Wow, okay, you guys are really... Weasel's really over, huh? Okay.
Best character.
Okay.
But of course, the scenes with Nadine and all the stuff from that, as well as the fact that with Nadine's scene with Ed and Dr. Jacoby, as soon as it was brought up that she would be divorced from Ed, she realized that she didn't have her eye.
Yeah.
So how far would she have to be pushed before she'd supposedly remember?
We'll find out eventually.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
it is.
sure that we will.
I think the question is, who's it going to be and how badly are they going to get hurt?
Didn't Nadine always have this super strength?
No, I think it was after the incident.
It was after she attempted suicide.
What, she just didn't take a bunch of steroids? What the
No, she took a bunch of, sleeping pills.
Yes.
And then after she woke up from her coma, she was super strong.
That, and she thought she was a teenager again.
And she thought she was 18. And in high school. And a cheerleader. And just plain amazing.
Blech.
Kids don't do drugs.
It's also a vast improvement from how Nadine was introduced to us with her being obsessed with curtain blinds.
Drape runners.
Okay.
The world's first silent drape runner.
But she succeeded.
Made of cotton balls. Oh, God. Okay, so, do either of you have anything left to add?
Who's gonna be the next visitor to the magical light thing, and what's their symbol gonna look like?
So do you think somebody else is going to get taken or go to one of the lodges?
Maybe.
Okay.
Because as it is, it's kind of having a 3 motif over the last little while.
Okay. Alrighty. Well... okay. So the next episode we will be watching is called On the Wings of Love. And I'm going to give you a couple of little tidbits to whet the appetite, as it were.
I don't know if this could deal with Harry with the other guy that just appeared, or if this has to do with Nadine, or...
In my case,
Ed.
I'm thinking it's that one lady that was with the mayors and the older gentleman. She has that seductive way with the men's.
I guess she's a character too, but...
Okay, well, Cooper and some of the deputies are going to go spelunking into Owl Cave.
The gasp.
Oh boy, Owl Cave.
Yeah, nothing bad can happen there, right?
No, it has nothing to do with anything that we're dealing with here.
And we're going to see Audrey and Donna see Mrs. Hayward meet with Ben, amongst a few other things. Obviously, Truman's going to wake up next to Miss Jones, and we're going to see more of Audrey and John Justice Wheeler starting their relationship.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so that will be next week. I think that's going to be it for this episode. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And Justin.